this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavishTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavishTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of my jungle, just a gangster stalking, living life like a firecracker, quick as my fuse, been dead as a death, back the colors I choose, red or blue cause of blood, it just don't matter, sucker died for your life when my shotgun scatters. Colors. The gangs of LA will never die, just multiply colors. Colors, 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 You don't know me, fool. You disown me, cool. I don't need your assistance.
Welcome in. Happy Monday. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I hope you enjoyed your weekend and now you are relaxed, comfortable, maybe some snacks, a beverage or two, and you're ready to dig into these trending topics and headlines. First of all, I hope your Valentine's Day weekend was amazing. Sending you lots of love retroactively. And happy birthday to the legend, the OG, Ice-T. Yo, he has been on Law & Order, I think 28 seasons? Something like that. Who would have ever thought Ice-T, 6 a.m, police at my door, would still be relevant in 2026? So shout out to him. Also, happy belated birthday to Megan Thee Stallion. Her birthday was yesterday. To Aquarius is linking up. Of course, her boo Clay celebrated his birthday earlier in the month. Cute hotties. All right. So listen, tonight we have so very much to get into as always. We are talking, the America's Next Top Model docuseries that takes a look back at the, famous reality show that Tyra Banks created and executive produced in the mid-2000s that was huge water cooler conversation. The documentary dropped and there were some surprises that were revealed in there. One of them being from Miss J. Alexander, who we came to know and love on the show. She taught posing and walking to the girls. Well, she revealed something in the series, so we're going to get into that. We're also going to discuss actor Carl Payne. You know him as Cockroach from The Cosby Show, and of course, Cole from Martin. Well, he was fired from The Cosby Show back in the day, and he's never really discussed what happened. But he has revealed what went down, so we're going to talk a little bit about it. And for the tinfoil hat gang, we got a little alien talk. Now, President Barack Obama, who looked fantastic on Sunday with Michelle and Sasha courtside at the NBA All-Star game, sending all the love, vibes, and all of that to them. He was on a podcast, and the conversation turned to aliens and UFOs, and he gave a response, but my question is, can we ever really trust a former president when it comes to a topic like that? I'll get into my whys later. But, before we get into full details on the topics, of course, we have to start with a couple of conversation starters. So first up, Andy, I'm going to ask you, what did you think of NBA All-Star in LA this weekend? Did you get out? Did you watch the game? Anything?
I stayed home, but I definitely tapped into all of the activities, and I was ecstatic.
You enjoyed
I enjoyed the whole weekend.
Okay.
I think that, the call was out there, and the players stepped up. I mean, from the celebrity game all the way until yesterday's game, it was actually quite enjoyable. Slam dunk contest, didn't really know too many of the cats except for Jackson Hayes, but I appreciated it. Even though some dunks I've seen before, I don't know, I felt a spirit amongst the players that was like, you know what? I'm tired of the criticism. Let's go out and show out.
Happy to be there.
You know what I'm saying? I think, I was here, working behind the scenes, but I was tapped into the celebrity game, and, Giannis was a coach. They spoke to Wemby, and I felt like those two individuals definitely did set the tone, like Wemby set the tone in the game yesterday or whatnot. From that point on, I think everything was dope. Seeing Damian Lillard come and win that three-point contest, although I felt like it was a little bit unfair. He didn't play, the whole season or whatnot, but for him to come out and show out the way that he did, I think was great. And the game, the games were dope to me. Look, all I ask for is for effort. I know there's been a lot of talk about, let's go back to the East and West. I'm cool with that too. I'm cool with keeping the format the way it is. As long as I see effort, that's all that matters.
So I did not watch any of the games.
Wow.
But I watched maybe the fourth, well, I don't even know if you can call it a fourth quarter, whatever that was, yesterday. So that was...
Oh, you saw the last game, basically.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything else. But I was outside a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. And I appreciate the community efforts. I appreciate what Jordan Brand did at the Jordan House. I love that they made sure to tap in with Inglewood High as the responsible thing to do since you're touching down in there, and make sure that there was things that touched that student body just for them in addition to all of the community events. I appreciate what Nike did at Crenshaw. The Shaw. They had a pop-up concert Saturday night.
Oh, nice.
It had Dom Kennedy, bunch of names, a bunch of people. I'll get you guys the names because of course I forgot and I was not there. But Friday night there was a documentary screening for George Raveling. They had the Crenshaw Mart where local businesses could come in, and there was plant making and things of that nature. So it looked amazing as far as the graphics. So shout out to community organizations. There was lots of different, I saw little ball, games and ball events and leagues for the kids. So big ups to the community aspect, because there's always lots of talks about how the brands come and touch down, 100%. But don't do anything for the community. So I know there was traffic and all of the things, but I felt like as far as community feeling and safety and enthusiasm, I thought there were some good events out there.
Can I be honest with you?
Yep.
I live around the corner from the Intuit Dome. I'll be honest with you. Traffic was actually pretty smooth. I was quite surprised. I don't know, maybe because it wasn't an event at SoFi, but
the crazy thing is last night, though, one, the events were earlier because NBC changed the programming times because of the Winter Olympics. So the NBA had to play fall back to the Winter Olympics. I see Maurice Brown mentioning Jaylen Brown's event. We'll get into that. And then a lot of people were saying that the rookie game on Friday looked pretty empty. There were some photos of it. I didn't know if maybe that was traffic. We arrived late in LA, but the prices were pretty steep.
That's so.
For some of the events. There is that. But I feel like the ambiance outside of the main events was really good too.
Right.
It may have been a rough week though, because a lot of people were just up in the Bay for Super Bowl. Thank goodness the weather held up though. We didn't have the rain this weekend.
Right on.
It waited till today. So big ups to all of that. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into these trending topics and headlines. I haven't told you what they are yet, have I? Did I? No. All right, let me tell you what we're going to be talking about tonight. How could I? Yes, I did. I did. I did. I did. All right, let me slow down here. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into all of that and so much more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Star. I get money, I'm a star. Star. Okane kasegu, watashi wa star.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Munell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
Well, I hang around my boy. He been married for 6 years. Videotaped his wedding day, never watched it. Now and every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month Luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
several. I think he was an Academy Award winner. No nominee for sure. So prayers to him and his family. Now listen. You know how this goes down. If at any point you want to get in on the conversation, 800-920-1580. You can also hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm personally at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Or get into the YouTube chat, the chat. Shout out to the VIPs. They're always chatting. And speaking of, we already have a caller on the line. So we have Forrest from Compton calling in. Forrest, how are you this evening? What's on your mind?
I'm good. How you doing, Jill?
I'm good.
Andy. All right. Hey, when you played that Ice-T, it made me think of a story. When I was I was in like the 9th grade, junior high school with the Fauché in L.A. And Ice-T and Kid Frost gave a concert at my school, right? And, it was off the chain. So we went home, and the next day we found out he was dating this girl on our block who lived about 2 doors down from me. And he came over there, and we were like, man, that's Ice-T. And, that was back in the breaking days. We had our cardboard out in the street, busting moves. And he sat out there for like an hour and just chopped it up with us about hip-hop, rap, at the time, because it was new in L.A., and because it was like 1982. And he talked about breakdancing and how to do the moves and all this stuff. And I never forgot that. And I'm 60 years old now, but I still remember that day. He was so cool. I said if I ever see him, I'm going to ask him if he remember.
Big ups to Ice-T. I appreciate that story. I remember I used to go to Venice Beach on a Sunday back in the day, and he would be there rapping with the Dominoes. They were in the movie Breakin' too. And then there was some club in downtown L.A. that I was not old enough to go to called the Radiotron, which they mentioned, I believe, in the Breakin' movie. That was a real club in downtown L.A., and they would go there on Sunday nights after hitting up Venice Beach. So we all have our Ice-T memories. LAOG was in Baldwin Hills before he headed off to the East Coast, and that's where he's been since then. Thank you for tapping in with the Forest. We always appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a good evening.
For sure.
All right, so before we get into Miss J, I just wanted to share with you, Stephen A. was talking about what he would do if he was president and how he would control the borders, right? I really think Donald Trump has a couple of these people's heads messed up. I can't blame Donald directly because that shouldn't be your inspiration. I know we had Reagan and Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura and all of that, but your guy, Uncle Luke, he says he's running for Congress. So, this is a quick culture check, right? He said he is floating the idea of a run for Congress. And, I am talking about the 2 Live Crew founder, right? Longtime Miami activist. He says he's considering it. He has been at the forefront. He considers himself for decades around free speech and censorship. This is true. If you know his history, they had the song Banned in the USA, a rip off of Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, because they had to go all the way to the highest court in the land to battle for their music. And that's back in the 80s when Tipper Gore wanted to slap the parental label stickers on albums. That just made kids wanted to buy them more. It didn't have the effect that they wanted to, but maybe it was to let their parents know what type of content was inside. So I don't know, but he's spoken publicly about policing, education, and Black ownership in South Florida, right? So would you consider someone like Uncle Luke, all of the things that he encompasses, past, present, for getting into civic power?
Not that I care, but did he ever mention what side of the coin he's on, as far as on the right side or left side? I'm assuming he's on the left.
He didn't say.
Look, I look at it like this. It's all about the issues at the end of the day, right? We had somebody like, I know Malcolm X didn't run for no office or whatnot, but, he was out there doing his thing in the streets, right? And he changed his life for the good. So, regardless of what his reputation is, I think if whatever his issues is and whatever issues he's addressing, and as long as he's following through with that, I'd be willing to listen at least.
I mean, to your point, do voters want lived experience or polished talking points, right? We'll have to see if he actually steps into that arena and, will the people be behind him? Seriously, these are interesting times. You never know. All right, so Miss J. Alexander, they were a staple on America's Next Top Model, right? He taught the girls how to walk in those heels. This is kind of deep though, right? He revealed that he suffered a stroke a few years ago and he can no longer walk. And he says that Tyra Banks has yet to visit him. In his words, I taught models how to walk and now I can't. Right? So we're going to sit with that for 1 second. How much do we owe someone we once collaborated with? That's the question. Like, if you no longer have a relationship, I'm assuming that they don't, what is your obligation if something like this, there's a sickness, there's a death? Do you feel obligated to reach out? Because generally, not in all situations, but generally, and I'm not saying that Miss J has said anything like this, but generally, most people think the follow-up to that is some type of financial consideration, right? Urban Spinster is asking, did Tyra and Miss J get along off camera? I think they had their moments. I think that they might have had, some things, but Miss J was a core personality on America's Next Top Model for over a decade. And, she, they, he were part of the magic. So let's hear what he had to say.
I taught models how to walk, and now I can't walk. Not yet. I'm determined to walk. I'm sure you're going to see me again, I'm sure. It's not all for me yet.
Do you want to take a selfie? Since our last selfie was 2019.
Come on, man.
We got to do it. All right. I got to wipe the lens. Oof. Okay.
Did Tyra come and visit you?
No, not yet. She just sent me a text. She wants to come and visit me. But no, not yet.
So, obviously his speech is still a bit slurred, but, we love nostalgia post, but sometimes we struggle with real life follow through. He said she sent a text. Perhaps they'll see each other soon, but what is the expectation of an ex-collaborator? And if they just called and said, I hope you're okay, or I'm sending you thoughts and prayers, is that enough? Sometimes I don't know. People, things can be strange.
There shouldn't be no expectations, quite frankly. Period. We worked together, right? We weren't family. We weren't best friends. But hey, even friendship and even family, quite frankly, I feel like nobody owes anything to anybody. So, whatever issues that you go through, I hate to say, you go through it by yourself, right? Now, for those who happen to come around you, shout out to them. But you shouldn't expect anything from anybody.
I think I try to live by appreciate the ones that show up for you.
Absolutely.
And just kind of, not worry about the rest. Urban Spinster added, it's been 3 years since the stroke. So, and Forrest Harrison said, if I get sick, the VIPs better come see me. We're going to send you a care package. I think it's hard because oftentimes, too, sometimes we think that we are closer to people than we really may be.
Absolutely.
Even if we no longer speak, we may have the expectation of, but we're still good. We're still solid. And maybe it's not that we're not solid, but the person or someone may not feel compelled to involve themselves in a situation.
Look, when it comes to health matters sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I think certain situations like that scares people sometimes.
Yeah,
or
they don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. They would rather just kind of avoid the situation. Like if they're not like a direct, family member or whatnot, they would walk away. And low-key, I understand that.
I understand it too. All right, listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into some of the VIPs' comments. We're also going to get into Carl Anthony Payne's, that's his name, his story about his dealings with Mr. Cosby and what got him fired, and Barack on aliens. We're going to put on the tinfoil hats, guys. Are you conspiracy theorists? What are your feelings about aliens? We'll get into all of that and more when we come forward.
Come and get me. I'm too uncouth, unschooled to the rules, and too gumshoe. Too much of a newcomer and too uncool. Like Shadow in the Veil, I battle with it well. Though I need a holiday like Lady Who Sung Blue. Go back, whatever you did, you undo. Heavy as heaven, the devil on me 2 tons too. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats want major changes at ICE before supporting funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
We know, and the American people clearly know, that ICE is totally out of control.
He made the comments on CBS's Face the Nation as DHS funding lapsed over the weekend. Republicans say some proposed reforms are non-starters. Maryland's black governor Wes Moore says he will not run for president in 2028, but he stopped short of ruling out a future bid altogether. Speaking at a CBS Things That Matter town hall, Moore said the next Democratic leader should focus on healing the country and have a proven track record. And former President Barack Obama is clarifying comments about aliens after online buzz. Speaking on a podcast, he said while the universe is vast and life could exist elsewhere, he has not seen an alien and says none are being held at Area 51. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Valencia got a bunch of water in the roadway on the 5 northbound Valencia Boulevard to Magic Mountain Parkway. 2 left lanes are off limits and the drive very slow away from the 14 freeway. We're also looking at some crowded conditions on the 5 southbound in Commerce. This is getting away from Garfield as you make your way towards the 605. It's crowded in Hollywood, South 101, leaving Melrose to the 110.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
One of the best visuals from NBA All-Star Weekend happened during the All-Star Game Sunday at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama attended the game and had courtside seats. When they walked into the arena, both were treated to a rousing ovation from fans. During the game, a loose ball was heading toward Michelle, but the former president caught the ball before it made contact with her. The quick reaction from Obama generated another round of applause from fans. During a break in the game Sunday, the former president did an on-court interview with Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, who was working the game as an analyst for NBC. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's top 25 rankings: UConn, 25-1 UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and Vanderbilt. No debates, no speculation. speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay, yay!
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm trying to put you in the worst mood. P1 cleaner than your church shoes. Really point to just to hurt you. All red lamb just to tease you. None of these toys on lease to. Made your whole year in a week too. Made out of your league too. Side out of your league too. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks a table come from ebony. Cut that ever into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, but I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see a shade. Switch on my side, I take any lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain. Look what you done. I'm a mother, star boy.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy birthday to the weekend. Happy birthday, Lupe Fiasco. A lot of musical Aquariuses. All right, let's get into some of these comments because, you know, the VIPs, they're funny. They always have good insight. Fahima says that she has been on numerous X Spaces with Uncle Luke for the past few years. She's not in Florida, but if she were, she would vote for Uncle Luke before biting Donald's, who is a disgrace. I'm not sure who that is, but I'll take your word for it. Listen, people are real people.
I gotta ask Fahima, them X Spaces, don't they like just, they don't get like your blood pressure boiling after a while? It just seems like just so much back and forth in them spaces. It don't matter what topic it is. You got one side over here, one side over here. I just can't do it.
Live chaos. Maybe. Urban Spinster says, and this is in reference to Miss J and Tyra, LA people have a habit of saying they'll do something and not really mean it. According to Miss J, Tyra said she wanted to come see him. Why you gotta be LA people? I mean, I know Tyra's from LA, but I feel like that is, you know, an industry-wide thing, not just an LA thing. But that's neither here nor there. So listen, let's get into Carl Anthony Payne because he has been famous for a long time, right? And he is fortunate enough to not have one role that we look at as iconic, but two series that were key as far as Black culture, as far as Black entertainment, as far as setting the tone and the pace in 2 different decades, right? But his time on the Cosby Show came to an abrupt end. And none of Theo's friends ever made sense once Cockroach left to me. Anyway, but he was fired and he's never really discussed what went down. But he says basically there were creative differences behind the scenes and that tension ultimately cost him the role. So if you recall, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo, and Carl didn't exactly get along as friends in real life. And Malcolm attributed it to a little bit of ego on Carl's part and the fact that perhaps Carl had auditioned for the role of Theo, and had Malcolm not got that role, Carl would have gotten it. Carl says his arrogance was simply, I'm from Harlem, and you know how Harlem get down. But let's hear it all in his own words.
You got let go from the Cosby Show, right?
Yes, I did. What happened was, it was the bald-headed episode.
I remember that one.
The bald-headed episode.
So basically,
the guy
Theo and Carl
who they
cut
had
their hair.
working as the barber, whoever he was, right? He hot combed my joint. He hot combed it, right, to make it lay down so it could fit under the bald wig. And my hair, they tried to get it back. It didn't match from what we had shot earlier. And, you know, Bill had this thing about natural hair and all of this other stuff like that and all of this, that, and the other. And he thought I did it. And I was like, talk to your mans in them. I do this. I feel like there was more going on to be let go for something like that. And I just never spoke on it. I let people run wild with all kind of stories for years. I don't care. But why would I, like, that's the most arrogant thing for me I won't cut my hair. Like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Of course I cut my hair. I'd have been bald for real. But that's what happened.
Wow.
And he thought I did
Crazy.
it. He thought I did it. And I was like, no, sir. That's not what happened.
Did I ever spoke after that?
I heard about that too. I heard y'all spoke and you cursed him out.
Well, I mean, because he was cursed. Listen.
I thought he don't curse.
He's a very interesting man. Let's just say that. He's a very interesting man.
So what was the conversation about?
It was a very in-the-moment thing that happened that was kind of high energy, high intense at the time because it was ridiculous. Sometime later, saw him again, and, you know, he had some very wild things to say then, too, you know, which was, like, interesting. I'm like, oh, okay. So Jell-O pudding pops is just commercial. I get it. But, you know, again, I don't talk about old stuff. I don't talk about things that just is, you know, what that did was, at that time, it opened my eyes to a lot of things in terms of this industry, how it can be, things that can happen, if you built for this type of thing. But it also, like, sometimes when you being rejected, you really just being redirected.
So, I mean, this is classic Black Hollywood math, right? You get removed from a legacy show and your whole trajectory shifts, right? Luckily for Carl, he found Martin, but it took a couple of years. I believe he still popped up here and there, but, you know, it obviously, he was a young man at that time. It impacted him, right? It also highlights how many careers were shaped or stalled by decisions made behind closed doors long before social media gave artists an outlet. Listen, like you said, sometimes rejection can be redirection. And I think that's the proper attitude to take, especially when we're talking about Hollywood. And look at his bounce back. He is currently, lest you wonder why he was up at the Breakfast Club, heading out on a comedy tour, right? As artists, we try and expand our wings and test out different things. So he is trying his hand at the comedic stage. We'll see. Hopefully it works out a little bit better for him than it did for T.I. No shots, no shade, but that didn't really go down the way T.I. thought. And listen, Mr. Jello Pudding Pop, image was so important. Do you think now, Andy, because people are allowed to be more of themselves, we complain a lot about the lack of artist development and things like that, but along with that was a really rigid idea of image for artists and things of that nature. So now, in a time when we're freer as far as opinion, do you think that freedom has hurt artists?
Whew, that's a deep question right there. Low key. I think that is a loaded question.
You said a loaded one?
Just considering being who you are, being authentic can rub people the wrong way. If
right.
People wanted to live their life the way that they see fit, it would be a problem in today's world. If we took Bill Cosby from the time in which he grew up and it was okay for him to live the way that he lived now, it would definitely be a problem. I don't know if he would be able to be as free as you would think. And that's all across the board. That goes with anybody.
But do you think sometimes, like, the guardrails that we throw up for image are helpful, like saving people from themselves? Because, for example, we talk about like Cam Newton and his relationship, right? I take it, he tries to take it, on the chin, and he knows he opened himself up for this. But I don't think he likes the conversation around his relationship all the time,
really?
Right?
Interesting.
I don't think that he loves it. Do you know?
Nobody wants a mirror held to them.
No. And so with that, but I think that in hindsight, using Cam as an example, maybe I don't know if he would have moved any different in his private life, but maybe the way that he revealed certain aspects of it, I envision he might have done something different because people are looking at him differently. Although, to the Ray J algorithm, it is helping Cam raise his profile. He's on social media every other week, Eclectica and all of that.
From a capitalistic standpoint, if you're trying to get a bag, yeah, why not? Why not reveal yourself?
I don't know. This stuff lives on forever. What are his kids like? Can you imagine you could go and look up and your parents were like talking crazy about each other and you could go look that up online? How would you know?
This is what I had to tell myself. I got to forgive my parents. At one time, they were young themselves trying to figure things out too. So, hey, you're going to make mistakes in life, period. If everybody was free and stuff like that, like, we probably wouldn't have no Diddy type situations. We wouldn't have no R. Kelly situations.
Yeah.
Things would be more
free,
revealed.
What do you mean free in what way?
Just free to live your life the way you see fit and not feeling like you got to, close yourself off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
And
we
I'm not,
probably still would have had an R. Kelly situation.
we probably would have, but it would have been more in the open.
I don't think it was hidden, though, if we really think about it.
That too.
You know, I mean, because you think about, and let's move him off the board because I know it's touchy.
You're right.
But you think about the fact Rick James had a song called 17, right? Alexander O'Neal's song Innocent starts off with young and tender. What do you think he was talking about? Do you know what I'm saying? We know BBD backstage underage. We know Keith Sweat, you may be young, but you're ready. I mean, it wasn't a secret. It was just the way that it was lined up was good girls, proper girls didn't go run off with those old fast men, right? Things like that. I just think the language around it has changed. And now there's outrage, outrage, outrage. Did you see the thing about Michael Jordan? Maybe we'll talk about it.
That was not a good look at all.
Maybe we'll talk about it. When we come forward, we'll get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
My name is Tyrone Owens, and this is my home for 23 years that burned in the fire. Me and my wife, Charlene, we had this whole yard decorated every year.
This was the house that sparkled throughout the entire neighborhood on all the holidays. It's a community that will never be the same due to the negligence of the utility company. So I am pretty upset about that.
We were nowhere near being able to rebuild with our insurance. It's going to cost $1 million to put your house back up.
I want to get back to that point where we were before the fire. I'm starting to get emotional, but I'll work through it. LA Fire Justice has been wonderful for us. They're just caring people. I mean, we have all faith in them.
Big ups to LA Fire Justice, who's given us hope to rebuild 100%.
Advertisement. Douglas Foster, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, really quick, Andy reminded me that I forgot to mention something. So, Brandy sang the national anthem at the NBA All-Star Game. Now, we know Brandy is known as the vocal Bible, and we know that she stacks her vocals. And so she replicated that in this performance. I believe she had the young ladies from June's Diary. That is the group they were signed to Kelly Rowland. They came about from, I think it was a BET show or something, as her backing vocals. Now, there were some that felt it was too elaborate and they couldn't get into it. But it's Brandy, the vocal Bible. How could you not? Andy?
Top 10 renditions of all time. But horrible audio. Very disappointed. All the little shenanigans that she had, you know, the mannerisms and the way she was singing, you would think that it was Whitney Houston behind that mic. It sounded like she was lip singing. So it was like, although I love the rendition, I thought it was freaking dope. It brought me back to what's my man, Marvin Gaye, and is it James Ingram that be doing the Lakers? I want to say it's James Ingram. I could be wrong.
Back in the day, maybe.
But it gave me those vibes. But I liked the rendition, but I was just disappointed in just the vocal ability coming from the vocal Bible, because I didn't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I said, it just sounded like she was lip singing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, our last story of the night. Are we ready? We got it ready? Okay. No. I know we got the clip ready. Do we have the tinfoil music ready? Because there we go. So listen, we know that they used to be called UFOs, unidentified flying objects. They're now called unidentified aerial phenomenon or something like that. But we know they're in existence. They confirmed that for us a couple years back. They let those files drop. They told us, like, on a random Tuesday, they just slipped it out like, oh, by the way, right? So former President Barack Obama, our forever president, he was asked about aliens and UFOs or UAPs, whatever they're called, on a podcast. And this is his response, which for me brings up some questions. Let's get into it.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
So here's my question, right? I recognize that he is no longer president, but he is still somehow classified up there very highly based off of what he was exposed to while in office. Could he realistically, legally tell us all the tea? I don't think he could.
I think he just did.
I mean, you think that's it? They just have the vehicles and no bodies? I do not believe in all of the time period, right, that if we have found physically some of these transportation vehicles, vessels, whatever, that there was never any foreign bodies attached to it, whether alive, dead, or whatever format. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, there have been a lot of accounts for those who have seen. Now, to his point, he hasn't seen them, but he mentioned that they exist. So somebody who might be high ranking, who might have seen them themselves, let the president know, like, yo, these things do exist. Now, I will also say this, though, because he did also say, like, yo, unless there was some sort of conspiracy to not reveal this against the president, I wouldn't put it past whoever is above him either. Also considering, you know what I'm saying, the complexion of his, you know what I'm saying, his complexion, you know?
You think that there are definitely some things that they're like, this president, we're going to skip the brief on that.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past it either. And there could be some type of alternate things happening. But I stand to reason there's no way that we have the alien cars and not a body or two. So that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, but we'll never know. And on top of that, I don't think that if he had actually saw the body or knew that they kept a couple of them locked up in the middle of the Mojave Desert or something like that, I don't think he would tell us either. I just don't.
At this point, do we need anybody like him to go ahead and say, like, yo, aliens exist?
It's not that we need them to tell us that they exist, but what do they do? What is that interaction like, right? How are they assimilating the things? I want to know that type of stuff. What are they observing, right? I don't want them coming down here like that old Twilight Zone episode and they hand you a book and the book is To Serve Man and you think they want to be your servant and they want to cook you. I want to know. I want to know the difference. Listen, thank you for locking in tonight, checking out all of the trending topics and headlines. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. with more facts, culture, and context. You know how we get down over here. So, coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I will be back tomorrow.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. More than 24 Black-owned businesses in Michigan were highlighted at the Henry Ford Museum's second annual Black Business Saturday.
The people who are here, they put their heart and their creativity into making their businesses and their dreams come true.
Organizers say the event showcases a wide range of products and helps connect local entrepreneurs with new customers. A federal judge in Pennsylvania has ordered the National Park Service to restore a slavery exhibit at a historic Philadelphia site after it was removed amid claims of an anti-American ideology by President Trump. The exhibit highlights slavery at the president's house and George Washington's ownership of enslaved people. And former NFL linebacker Darren Lee, who is black, is facing a $50 million lawsuit filed by the mother of his girlfriend, Gabriella Perpetuo, whom he's accused of killing. Lee remains in jail without bond as the criminal case moves forward. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Ontario crash on the 10. This is eastbound coming up on Euclid. That is just